You are listening to the RE/MAX Real Estate Insight Show. I'm your host, Jeanette Schneider. Ever heard the saying that by failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail? Well, there's truth to that familiar quote, and it can really be true for you when it comes time to prepare your home when you're selling it. You can take the time to find the right agent, to time the sale of your home, maybe to meet some personal goals, but if you don't prepare yourself and your home for sale, well, your efforts can be thwarted. With me is Tina Landosky. She's an associate with RE/MAX ENCORE in Clarkston to highlight how far in advance you should start planning when selling your home and then what steps we should take along the way. Welcome to the show, Tina.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. So I guess let's start it out kind of easy here. Let's say I pick up the phone, I call you, I say, Tina, I'm looking to sell my house. You know, where do you recommend I start? Kind of what would you tell me?
I would first off start by doing a comparative market analysis, which we call a CMA. I would like to get an idea of where the pricing were for the housing in the area and that type of home. I would come out and give you kind of constructive criticism on, okay, this may need to be painted, you may need to take down this wallpaper, that kind of thing, just to try to make sure that everything is in working order as well. And
that the home is showing in the best possible light.
Right. And, you know, a lot of people don't look at it that way as a buyer's eyes. They, have been living there. It's their kind of domain, and they don't want to look outside the box of saying, well, maybe this does need a little bit of paint. Maybe this socket needs to be replaced or that kind of thing.
Oh, no, because when you're living in the home, you get used to the little nuances, right? I'm kind of chuckling about this because right now a knob on the closet door by our back door coming in has kind of broken.
Yeah.
And my husband keeps saying, I'm going to get to it. I'm like, okay, we're on week 2. If we don't fix it soon, it's just going to permanently be that way, because you just get used to things, right?
Right.
So let me ask you this. Is it ever, kind of too early in the process, for a potential seller to call you? Because I guess where I'm going is there's a lot of our friends right now. It's kind of interesting within my group. A lot of us are thinking maybe 9 to 12 months out, maybe downsizing, doing some stuff. Is that too far out for you as a realtor? Are you still happy to get that call if we're not ready to move today, but we want to start talking to you about it?
No, actually, it isn't too early because a lot of these things take time. Going through your stuff, we all are little clutter bugs where we have a lot of things that we, need to kind of get rid of. And so it takes time to go through that stuff. It takes time to figure out, contractors, that kind of thing.
If you are needing to do some repairs.
If you need repairs. And sometimes while you're looking, you find other things that you're not expecting, major repairs that need to be done, and that takes time. So, instead of being all stressed out, if you could just go ahead and, kind of take things day by day and get things done that need to be in order, then, it just makes it a little bit smoother of a transaction.
I mean, if you have the time and you kind of know this is where you're going, why wait to the last minute?
Exactly.
Get a jump on it now. So when you do come out, let's say that you're meeting with some sellers, they're indicating an interest in selling. You're going to come out, you mentioned doing a comparative market analysis, and you're looking to provide some constructive, criticism. The agent should expect that, or excuse me, not the agent, the seller should expect that an agent's going to probably come in with a little bit critical eye, and they don't need to take it personally, right?
No, it's absolutely not personal. It's something to try to, you're looking at getting the most money you can for that client, and sometimes it just takes a little bit of like, I'm sorry to say this, but I think we should do this, or even if you just get a little bit more of your things out of here, the buyer will be able to recognize, them living there and their things that, could be in that spot. So I think it's just a big deal.
Well, based on your experience, because you do this every day, whereas those of us buying and selling homes, we don't do this every day. What are some common things that maybe you see in a home, if you go out and you're taking a look at it potentially to be a listing, that if you walk and you go, oh, I'm pretty sure that's not going to pass inspection. Do you kind of find that you see things that aren't even on their radar?
I mean, sometimes people think, oh, well, I bought that, I paid for that roof, 20 years ago. Well, yeah, it was an expense, but, it's got a little bit of wear and you need to replace it. So, sometimes major things like that, or it could be just as simple as, there's a little tear in the carpet. Let's take care of that. Or a really good cleaning will take care of, maybe there's a little mold in the bathroom or something, just Spruce it up. I keep saying, go back to buyer's eyes. If you're a buyer, is this something appealing to you?
Well, I mean, like you were saying, some of the things is just elbow grease, and cleaning. And would you recommend that it's worth the money for sellers to pay? Like, if you don't have a cleaning service that comes in regularly, but to do it before putting the house on the market,
Absolutely.
Would that be well worth it?
Absolutely. I think so. I think it would be worth it because, for one, if they don't have the time, it'll get that done and get them, going into the direction that they want to go into. And also, maybe they didn't see that something was different. It's all about seeing something in others' eyes.
Gotcha. Well, we're talking with Tina Landosky with RE/MAX ENCORE about how to prepare yourself and your home when you're getting ready to sell. It's all about preparation to have the result that you want at the end, so it's an important thing to take up. Next, we're going to discuss credit scores, staging, selling your home on a time crunch, and more. Now, if you're looking for some short articles with tips on buying, selling, or general home ownership and more, you can always go to RE/MAXRealEstateInsights.com. Just click on the Explore Articles box. That's going to take you to our blog, which has tips and information for buyers, for sellers, for homeowners. And these are, relatively short little articles that provide some timely tips. You don't need to register. You don't even need to create an account, so there's no passwords to remember. It's all there for you at any time. Again, just go to RE/MAXRealEstateInsights.com. We'll be right back with more of the RE/MAX Real Estate Insight Show here on 760 WJR. You are listening to the RE/MAX Real Estate Insight Show. We're talking about the preparation involved in getting your home ready to sell. Ideally, you probably want to start the process at least 3 to 6 months out to give yourself some time to make any needed repairs, get it cleaned, do all the things you need to do to make that great first impression. And, again, preparation is so much of the process, and it's going to help make you less stressed when the home actually goes on the market. I'm your host, Jeanette Schneider. Back with me is Tina Landosky. She is an associate with RE/MAX ENCORE in Clarkston. She's going to continue to highlight how we can effectively plan and prepare to sell your home. And Tina, right before the break, we were starting to talk about, as they start looking at the home with buyer's eyes.
Absolutely.
Or you come in and help them look at the home through buyer's eyes.
Well, this is not going to be your home anymore, and you do want to take a look at, specific things to
Absolutely.
Make it look the best it can be.
And there could be that there's a bigger ticket item that comes up. It's something that you were alluding to is the roof. Maybe they did put a new roof on 15, 20 years ago, but it's not so new anymore. Maybe it's showing signs of where maybe there's a large crack, that happens in the driveway. These are bigger ticket items. What advice would you have to sellers on those?
Well, we always refer our clients. We work with people a lot on a daily basis, and we do have a few. They may have somebody that they know, but they could get like a quote on what work needs to be done. That sometimes it takes time for the contractors to come out, and for you to get your financing in order to take care of these issues ahead of time. That way, you make hopefully your money back in doing that process.
Gotcha. So
knowing ahead of time.
Well, what if you ran across somebody? So I don't want to put words in your mouth. Has this ever happened to you where you have had a client where that has kind of a bigger ticket item that you really think needs to be addressed before putting the home on the market? And they go, no, I put enough into this home. I'm not fixing this. I don't want to touch it. I'm done putting money into this house. Just reduce the price and we'll deal with it that way.
Absolutely. And a lot of the investors and that type of thing would like that. We do like an as-is kind of situation. But I always say beware because some of the loans that you would have, like an FHA loan, may not pass inspection. And so then that client may not buy because of that, issue between nobody coming to an agreement together. Yeah.
And that's why I wanted to bring it up because I think mentally you start to be checked out of your home. If you're if you're looking to sell, it's like, okay, no, I've cleaned it, I've done this, I've done everything. No, this is somebody else's problem. But the reality is, until you sell it, Absolutely. It really is your responsibility. So we often think of credit scores, and when we talk about that, we're usually thinking on the buyer side of things.
Yeah.
But often when you're selling a home, you are in turn buying something else. So it is
Most
part of the
time
equation.
You are, yeah. Most of the time you are purchasing a home after you sell your home, and you want to just keep an eye on the prize that your credit is important at all times. That way, when you do sell your home, you can jump right into getting the next home that you're looking for.
And sometimes that's a delicate dance when you're also maybe making some repairs on the house. You're trying not to have big expenditures to keep credit where it needs to be, but yet you need to deal with, maybe some stuff over here. So talk to your agent, talk to your lender, I'm guessing, and keep everybody in the loop on these things.
And the real estate agent may be able to help you, refer you to somebody that is a good mortgage broker or bank that will maybe be able to help you pre-plan.
Okay. Okay. Now, we know that what sellers, a big issue for sellers is how much am I going to sell my house, for?
Absolutely.
And we know that what the price that you list it for may not be what it ultimately sells for. And this price that it ultimately sells for isn't going to go directly into my wallet at the closing table. Can you kind of walk through the conversation you have with sellers about what to expect on that side of the equation?
Sure. We have a seller's net sheet that we kind of go through and gives a line by line so they know what to expect. It is approximate, but at least they have an idea of what to expect in profit on the end. Like, oh yeah, we have to do these taxes or whatever it is.
Whatever it is out there.
But we start at the selling price and then we end up at approximately what it'll be, so they have an idea that the selling price is not going to be what's going to be in their bank account.
It's kind of like the first job you get. You go, the first paycheck, you're expecting it to be X, and then they're like, well, who's all these people taking money out of my paycheck? Yeah. We're talking with Tina Landosky. She's an associate at RE/MAX ENCORE in Clarkston. Now, in a perfect world, we'd said 3 months, 6 months, even, folks, if they know they're going to be selling, can reach out further in advance to talk to you. Let's go to the other end of the spectrum. Somebody has a job transfer or something else has happened that's causing maybe a quicker sale that, you just don't have the luxury of time. What advice do you have for those folks?
My priority would be, is it clean? Can I remove the things out of the home if I am in a hurry? If I pack ahead of time, can get the stuff out of the home so I can address things that need to be absolutely done to pass an inspection that we can go through and get done quickly if nothing's in the way, and then they are also pre-packed. They have everything done and out to go to the next move.
Gotcha. So, now curiosity is, I want to talk a little bit about staging. We know from a buyer perspective that, buyers can be enticed by the kind of the mood and how the house feels. Part of that's cleanliness. Part of it might be paint colors, the way the home is arranged, and all of that. From a seller's perspective, is it something you cover with them on how to properly stage the home or give recommendations to them?
I would give recommendations. I don't personally do it. I do recommend, things being clutter being taken care of and things being in a mild tone. Sometimes people can get wild with their paint colors and then people don't see what they want to see in their home as a buyer. They don't see their stuff in there and they're kind of turned off by it. So if it's visually stimulating, then they're able to oh yeah, I can see this, this couch here, the TV here, or whatever it may be,
Yeah, but if it's like a bright burnt orange wall or, or
just a wallpaper come down,
it may look great.
That is a big thing.
Yeah.
we come across a lot.
Oh, yeah. The house that we're currently in, I have now successfully removed all wallpaper from that home. I don't care if it ever comes back in style. It was not going up in my house because I've taken it down off of every wall. And, I thought it was going to be easy. And it should have been, except for that they put it right on the drywall with no backing.
It's a task.
It is very much a task. Is there, I guess let's jump ahead. Right now we're not in the winter season, but let's say it's January. We know Michigan doesn't have
it's not very friendly sometimes.
No, it can be a cold kind of, hard month. It's not the first month that people would think of to sell a home, but people do sell homes throughout the year. Needs arise all the time for people to buy and sell homes. Does it take longer to get a home ready to sell in kind of the non-summer season, or is that really not a factor?
Well, I mean, it could, because you may have to count on the weather as far as icy roads or being cold to be able to get your stuff into the moving truck or what have you. And sure, that if you plan ahead of time, then you're able to say, well, we couldn't do it this day because it was icy or whatever. You can go to the next day. And the other thing that I would say is you have more serious buyers in the winter. If they, a lot of times they do, move because of jobs, like you're saying. And if they're looking in the wintertime and going out and actively seeking the home, looking at homes, they are usually a more serious buyer. Yeah, for sure.
Let me ask you this. You're going to, how you've seen a lot of different potential sellers' homes. What's the most either expensive or time-consuming update or repair that people have to do that once they get into it, they didn't realize it was going to take them so long to get ready for their house to get put on the market?
Well, there's several different things. Water damage in crawl spaces. Roofing has always been a big one. Plumbing issues. It can get extensive, and people may not even know that there's an issue there until, they do an inspection and they're like, oh, great, this is what happened.
Yeah, didn't even know this was going to be coming.
Yeah.
Well, thanks to Tina Landosky from RE/MAX ENCORE for being here to help sellers better prepare themselves and their home for sale. Coming up next, we've got Joe Zago, CEO of the Carpet Guys, coming up to talk a little bit about what's going on in his world and his industry, and maybe you need one of his products to help get your home ready to be sold. We'll be right back with more of the RE/MAX Real Estate Insight Show here on 760 WJR.